So let's talk about the flowering plants and reproductive processes. Okay. So flowers carry the male and the female parts of the plant. So they are of utmost importance in sexual reproduction. So let's go over some of the parts. So there's the sepal, which protects the unopened flower. या ऐसा flower जिसने अभी तक bud नहीं किया है. There's the petal, which attracts insects for pollination. There's the stamen, which is the male structure, and इसमें filament और anther होता है, तो filament और anther बन के मिल के जो है ना वो stamen बनाते हैं. Then there's the anther, which produces male sex cells, also called pollen grains, and then there's the stigma, which is present at the top of the ovary, and it collects pollen grains and transfers them all the way to ovary through the style. ठीक है, so this is the style right here. और ये पूरा एक छोटी सी ट्यूब होती है और यहाँ पे फिर वो ओवरी तक पहुँचता है. ठीक है, and then the ovary is the female structure which produces female sex cells, which are called ovules. So, reproduction in flowering plants. So, first of all, the production of gametes. A female gametes, जिसका singular ovum और plural ova होता है, are produced in the ovary and they stay there, they do not move. Male gametes called pollen grains are produced in the anther and they travel to the ovary to fertilize the ovum. There are several methods through which pollen grains reach the ovum, and this process is called pollination. You can do insect pollination, जो कि flowers के through occur करते हैं. Because flowers are brightly colored, they are usually pollinated by insects because insects are attracted to them. Insects carry pollen from one plant to another, and the pollen stick with the insect's body parts. और जब वो एक प्लांट से दूसरे प्लांट पे जाके लैंड करते हैं तो वहाँ पे वो बॉडी पार्ट के साथ जो पोलन ग्रेन स्टक होते हैं वो रिलीज हो जाते हैं and there is the stigma of the flower. Pollen then travels towards the ovary where they fuse with the ovum to get fertilized, and pollen grains are sticky, so they stick to the insects well. Stigma is inside the flower and is sticky, so it also aids in the process of attachment of pollen grains to it. Then there's wind pollination. Okay? So some plants, including grasses, are pollinated through wind, and pollens travel through the wind to the female part of the same flower or the flower of another plant. ठीक है ना, तो अपने प्लांट पे भी गिर सकता है, अपने ही फ्लावर पे, या किसी और फ्लावर पे भी जाके गिर सकता है. सो नॉर्मली ऐसे प्लांट्स के जो पेटल्स होते हैं वो डल होते हैं. दे डू नॉट नीड इंसेक्ट्स टू पॉलिनेट देम. ठीक है, pollens are normally produced in very large amounts and are smooth and light so that they can be carried away by the wind. And stigma is outside the flower and is feathery ताकि it can catch drifting pollen grains. Right, so now we have basically a diagrammatic reproduction where we have the production of pollen. ठीक है ना, and then we have fertilization जहाँ पे the pollen grain is landing on top of the stigma. ठीक है ना, and here's the female nucleus and here's the pollen grain nucleus, and then it's going to travel down the style and the ovule is going to be fertilized. And lastly, we have seed and fruit formation, जहाँ पे the female parts will develop into fruit after the fertilization, and ovules are going to develop into seeds, and the rest of the part is fruit, right? So germination occurs when the seed develops into a new plant through the process of germination, obviously. Water, oxygen, and optimum temperatures are required for the successful germination of any seed. और seed का आप structure देखो तो उसमें embryo अलग होता है, ठीक है ना, and the rest of this is all utilizable food that is there for the embryo to digest and grow, and then this is the seed coat for protection, and that's it.